Hi and welcome to Razz Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is the last installment in the Fox-run X-Men franchise and is directed by Simon Kinberg, who previously was a writer, and he's actually the one who's written X-Men The Last Stand. For some reason, he's written this and he's also directing it. This movie focuses on the character of Jean Grey, who has an accident in space and gets exposed to solar flares that activate a strange and dark power inside her. The power of Dark Phoenix, which she kind of already had in X-Men Apocalypse, that she used to take Apocalypse out. So now apparently she has them for realsies. I was never really excited to see this film at all. I kind of dragged myself to see it because I never felt like this movie even needed to happen. It always seemed like a case of screw it, the X-Men franchise is getting sold off to Disney, let's squeeze one more X-Men movie out of it, and of course let's put Dark Phoenix in it because we always have to put Dark Phoenix for some reason. So this was always the movie that really didn't need to happen. I didn't want it to happen, and it did happen. And then I saw the trailers for the film and I really didn't want it to happen because the trailers were not exciting at all and actually spoiled a lot of stuff in the movie. Now, having seen it, I actually wasn't disappointed. The thing is, this movie is definitely not good, but it's also not bad. I didn't feel angry or mad when I saw it like I felt during The Last Stand or X-Men Wolverine Origins or even Apocalypse. What I felt was nothing. This movie didn't make me feel anything. It was just so flat. It flatlined throughout the whole thing, just like nothing. It just had absolutely no emotional resonance whatsoever, and I wonder why. Is it because a major turning point was spoiled in the trailer? Maybe. Is it because I hate Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique? Maybe just as much as she hates being Mystique herself? Maybe. Maybe because the characters that are so essential to this storyline, we don't know and we just met them, so we're not emotionally invested in them at all? Maybe. Or maybe because this movie doesn't really have a story, just a very thin line that's threading the plot between one situation and the other. Maybe. And even though I didn't feel anything, I still didn't actually have a bad time. There are things I enjoyed in here. Most notably is the fight sequences. Some people might disagree and think that the special effects were a little wonky. Sometimes they were, but generally I actually enjoyed the fight sequences here because for me personally, I always enjoy watching X-Men fight together. It just brings out the inner child in me because I was so attached to this kind of stuff when I was young. Especially when I see Magneto fighting, because Magneto is my favorite X-Men and one of my favorite comic book characters of all time, and he's absolutely badass in this. Michael Fassbender as Magneto is one of the best things that has happened in comic book movies for me. I enjoyed so much. I love him as Magneto, and I loved his action sequences here. Yes, the character himself didn't really need to be in this movie, but hey, I'm glad he did because I enjoyed it. Because Magneto is actually the highlight of every X-Men movie for me personally. And Michael Fassbender did a great performance. Actually, another thing that's really good about this movie is the performances. Everybody did a great job as their characters. Nicholas Hoult was great in this. I liked the guy playing Cyclops, even though he got sidelined because we have to sideline Cyclops in every movie for some reason, especially when we do Dark Phoenix. But I didn't find him as annoying as he was in X-Men Last Stand, so I guess that's a good thing. Of course, McAvoy as Xavier is fantastic. He's fantastic in everything. And the two of them together, Fassbender and McAvoy, is one of the only things I'm actually upset that we're going to be losing now that this franchise is over. I thought Dark Sansa was pretty good. Her performance was really good. She cried a lot. She cried well. So I liked her. But all in all, the performances were definitely better than the materials given, so I'll give them that. They elevated the film a little bit with the acting. However, the positives really end here, guys. The story is just, there isn't really one. Things just happen because they need to happen. There's a lot of plot conveniences. A lot of things are left unexplored. Jessica Chastain's villain character didn't make any sense to me. We didn't understand what was her purpose. We didn't know what her posse was all about and where they came from and why. I know it's in the comics, but here they just felt like an afterthought all the time. Every time an important moment is happening, she just shows up like, hi, I'm here. You really don't need to be there at all. The characters were acting pretty much out of character a lot of the times, especially Beast and, of course, Professor Xavier. I really don't like what they did to his character here. He was doing things that don't make sense. A lot of things made him out to be a dick, really, when he didn't need to be. And I'm like, why would Xavier even do that? So I found myself asking that question about a lot of characters, so their character development didn't make a lot of sense to me either. And they really tried to sell us on the friendship between these characters and Jean Grey when We haven't actually seen it. I mean, when did Mystique and Jean Grey become BFFs? So basically, characters were not doing things because it made sense. They were just doing it because the plot required them to, just for the story to move along. So it didn't feel earned and it just wasn't nice. You just were like, okay, I guess now that's happening. The dialogue wasn't good either, and the pacing of the movie is just really bad. There were a lot of scenes that were so mind-numbingly slow, which made the film really boring sometimes. There are scenes where their dramatic purpose would be done, and then I'd be like, okay, can we just cut out of the scene and move on? But we won't. We'd still be in the scene. You're like, why are we even still here? And there were a lot of scenes and moments and even portions of dialogue that kept getting repeated and repeated and repeated. Like, I get it. I really had enough of seeing Jean Grey cry and wonder why she's doing this or what she's gonna do. What am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna hurt people. I can't control it. What am I gonna do? I hurt people. So this made a lot of moments in the film that was supposed to be powerful just feel redundant. All in all, this movie was pretty much as lame as I thought it was gonna be. I got what I came for. Watching Michael Fassbender be awesome as Magneto and some sweet-ass X-Men fight scenes, and that's it. If you're a die-hard X-Men fan, maybe you should check this out to make your peace with it, or skip it. But the Fox X-Men franchise has officially ended with a resounding meh, and I'm gonna give Dark Phoenix a 6 out of 10. So, have you seen Dark Phoenix? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments section, and also let me know what you expect from the X-Men once they get introduced in the MCU. Like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to ask me what you'd like me to review for you next. See ya!